Hello everyone. Name: Nifsa Hanipah Syafa'ad NIM 200530046 Majoring Economics Education Faculty Economy Lecturer Dr. Marwan S.Pd M.Si Macroeconomics Theory Course. In this opportunity, we will learn about definition and scope of macroeconomic. The first is definition about macroeconomics. Macroeconomics is the study of national aggregates or economy-wide aggregates. In a way, it is like study of economic forest as distinguished from trees that comprise the forest. Main tools of its analysis are aggregate demand and aggregate supply. Macroeconomics concern. Macroeconomics, Greek macro equals big, describes and explains economic processes that concern aggregates. An aggregate is a multitude of economic subjects that share some common features. By contrast, microeconometry economic processes that concern individuals. Example: the decision of a firm to purchase a new OCE chair from Company X is not a macroeconomics problem. The reaction of Austrian households to an increased rate of capital taxation is a macroeconomics problem. Why macroeconomics and not only microeconomics? The whole is more complex than the sum of independent parts. It is not possible to describe an economy by forming models for all firms and persons, and all their cross-EECTS. Macroeconomics investigates aggregate behavior by imposing simplifying assumptions. Assume there are many identical firms that produce the same good, but without abstracting from the essential features. These assumptions are used in order to build macroeconomics models. Typically, such models have three aspects: the story, the mathematical model, and a graphical representation. Scope of macroeconomics is an essential field of study for economists. Government, financial bodies, and researchers analyze a nation's general national issues and economic well-being. It mainly covers the measure fundamentals of macroeconomics theories and macroeconomics policies. The macroeconomics theories involve economic growth and development, national income, money, international trade, employment, and general price level. In contrast, macroeconomics policies cover fiscal and monetary policies. The study of problems like unemployment in India, the general price level, or the problem of balance of payment book is a part of the macroeconomic study because it relates to the economy. The scope is theory of national income, theory of employment, theory of money, theory of gen price level, theory of ECO. Growth. The importance of macroeconomics. 1. It helps to understand the functioning of a complicated modern economic system. It describes how the economy as a whole functions and how the level of national income and employment is determined on the basis of aggregate demand and aggregate supply. 2. It helps to achieve the goal of economic growth, higher level of GDP, and higher level of employment. It analyzes the forces which determine economic growth of a country and explains how to reach the highest state of economic growth and sustain it. 3. It helps to bring stability in price level and analyses fluctuations in business activities. It suggests policy measures to control inflation and deflation. 4. It explains factors which determine balance of payment. At the same time, it identifies causes of deficit in balance of payment and suggests remedial measures. 5. It helps to solve economic problems like poverty, unemployment, business cycles, etc., whose solution is possible at macro level only, that is, at the level of whole economy. 6. With detailed knowledge of functioning of an economy at macro level, it has been possible to formulate correct economic policies and also coordinate international economic policies. 7. Last but not the least, is that macroeconomics theory has saved us from the dangers of application of microeconomic theory to the problems of the economy as a whole. Inflation is the rate at which the prices for goods and services increase. Inflation often affects the buying capacity of consumers. Most central banks try to limit inflation in order to keep their respective economies functioning efficiently. There are certain advantages as well as disadvantages to inflation. Inflation refers to the increase in the prices of the goods and services of daily use, such as food, housing, clothing, transport, recreation, consumer staples, etc. Inflation is measured by taking into consideration the average price change in a basket of commodities and services over a period of time. Inflation is calculated in India by the Ministry of Statistics and Program Implementation. A simple example would be, suppose a kilograms of apple cost 100 rupees in 2019 and it cost 110 rupees in 2020. Then there would be a 10% increase in the cost of a kilograms of apple. In the same way, many commodities and services whose prices have raised over time are put in a group, and the percentage is calculated by keeping a year as the base year. The percentage of increase in prices of the group of commodities is the rate of inflation. Macroeconomics. Deflation is generally the decline in the prices for goods and services that occur when the rate of inflation falls below 0%. Deflation will take place naturally if and when the money supply of an economy is limited. Deflation in an economy indicates deteriorating conditions. Deflation is normally linked with significant unemployment and low productivity levels of goods and services. The term deflation is often mistaken with disinflation. While deflation refers to a decrease in the prices of goods and services in an economy, disinflation is when inflation increases at a slower rate. Unemployment is a term referring to individuals who are employable and actively seeking a job, but are unable to find a job. Included in this group are those people in the workforce who are working but do not have an appropriate job. Usually measured by the unemployment rate, which is dividing the number of unemployed people by the total number of people in the workforce. Unemployment serves as one of the indicators of a country's economic status. The term unemployment is often misunderstood, as it includes people who are waiting to return to a job after being discharged, yet it does not include individuals who have stopped looking for work in the past 4 weeks due to various reasons, such as leaving work to pursue higher education, retirement, disability, and personal issues. Also, people who are not actively seeking a job but do want to work are not classified as unemployed. Interestingly, people who have not looked for a job in the past 4 weeks but have been actively seeking one in the last 12 months are put into a category called the marginally attached to the labor force. Within this category is another category called discouraged workers, which refers to people who have given up looking for a job. The categories mentioned above sometimes causes confusion and debate as to whether the unemployment rate fully represents. The categories mentioned above sometimes causes confusion and debate as to whether the unemployment rate fully represents the actual number of people who are unemployed. Macroeconomics is the study of the whole economy in terms of the total amount of goods and services produced, total income earned, total consumption, and investment made, and stock of capital, the level of employment of productive resources, the general behavior of prices and quantity of money in circulation, revenues and expenditure of government, export and import of the country, and so on. Therefore, it attempts to deal with aggregate issues of recession and prosperity, growth or stagflation, and price level stability. Macroeconomics in terms of scope of macroeconomics is both science and art, both positive and normative science. Okay, maybe. Until here our discussion, I say sorry if I have mistaked to you, and thanks for watching this video. And see you next time in this course again.